this was move-in day with my beautiful mother. Since move-in day, I have joined a competitive dance team. I spent a semester studying abroad in Australia. And as a senior, I can thankfully say that I survived all of Bentley's GB courses. Over that time period, a lot changed. Myself, my friends, my career search that's still ongoing. And over that same time period, there's one thing that has not changed. And that's been the continuous generation of trash and wasteful behavior all around me. Coming to college and living with other people initially made me realize how much waste got produced outside of my household. I saw that people were not thinking about their waste in the capacity that I was. And rarely do they know how to properly recycle. You can ask any of my roommates about that one. But sorry, I'm totally forgetting my line. I'll make a joke about it because that's what I said I was going to do. This was a very different kind of environment from what I was used to, a different mindset. I grew up in a very waste-conscious household. And I was raised that way partially out of frugality because we couldn't afford to be wasteful, but also out of concern for the environment. We recycled, we composted. Those were, to me, what I thought normal. And we also donated everything that we could to shelters, to charities, to make sure that that stuff didn't end up in the trash. My mom was creative. She was resourceful to make sure that our waste didn't end up as waste. But the problem is that not everyone thinks like this. In 2013, Americans generated 4.4 pounds of garbage per person per day. To visualize what that looks like, 4.4 pounds is about the size of a small pumpkin. Now, over the course of a year, add all of those pumpkins up, and your trash generation becomes the size of a small cow. And with the entire population of the United States generating that 4.4 pounds, it's enough waste to fill 63,000 garbage trucks every day. Thinking about our trash generation in this capacity blows my mind. It's absolutely crazy. It's almost unbelievable. I'm not going to stand up here today and tell you that the answer to this problem is to stop using stuff and to stop buying stuff. Because although that would be the easy answer, it's not realistic. Our society, our economy functions off of buying and selling. We thrive off of it. We want things when we want them, how we want them. When we do get them, we want something else or we want more of it. And that's fine. I get that. We're consumers. Quite frankly, my soon-to-be marketing degree wouldn't be relevant without that consumption. But this pattern ultimately means there's no end. There's no limit. Our waste is limitless. Sometimes with issues this big, this vast, it can feel like there's no foolproof solution, especially environmentally related issues. There's no solution that then doesn't lead to another problem. Our current answer to this issue of waste is to recycle this and reduce that, and drink from this water bottle because it's reusable. Oh, plastic straws, forget those. But I hate to break it to you guys, but these solutions aren't working. We need to think about the problem differently. The way we look at our waste needs to change. What if, instead of looking at our waste, our garbage, our trash as a physical problem, we consider it an opportunity? An opportunity that could be equally as limitless as the problem itself. Whoa. We look at the very things causing the problem as the opportunity to solve the problem. This perspective may be difficult to grasp at first because we don't often think about what goes into our garbage. It's the items we use and then throw away. But our garbage consists of food, of paper, packaging, the not so everyday items that you throw away like clothing, furniture, yard clippings. And with each of these items, there's a different impact, and they need to be addressed separately, meaning that there's no one-size-fits-all solution to our problem. Trying to see the opportunity in our waste is also going to be difficult because we don't actually see our garbage. We are removed from the problem. Right now, our waste is pretty easy to get rid of, but what if it wasn't? Imagine a world where your waste, your garbage, built up and accumulated in your backyard. I guarantee we'd be acting a little differently than we are today. But the reason that we're able to think and the reason that we're able to act like this is because of our modern waste management system. The good thing about our modern waste management system is we don't have to live with our waste. But the bad thing about our modern waste management system is that we don't have to live with our waste. Therefore, it's out of sight and out of mind. We don't fully comprehend, we don't fully understand what happens to it after it just goes away. I can tell you that some of that waste will break down for a long period of time, but some of it won't. And so that means that if it doesn't just go away, it has to end up somewhere. And that somewhere is in landfills, incinerators, oceans, our animals. You can see how the complexity of our waste makes it very difficult to solve the problem. But thinking in a way that we see the opportunity within that waste is a good place to start. So what opportunity am I talking about? How could there be opportunity in our waste? Garbage is gross. Well, with the materials that we're wasting, there's the opportunity to be creative and to be resourceful. The opportunity that we're currently not taking advantage of. In the film Wasted, the story of food waste, Anthony Bourdain was a celebrity chef. He visited a farm and he discovered how much produce, how much vegetation never got used or sold off the farm. And this was either because it was underripe or because it was a part of the plant that we didn't use. So what does that mean? Well, let's look at the cauliflower plant, for example. Of the whole plant, only 40% of that plant is the actual vegetable, the cauliflower that we eat. The other 60% are those leaves that we don't eat, we don't consume, we don't use them, they end up as waste. We are putting time, energy, and resources into growing something and then throwing more than half of it away. How does that make sense? I get that cauliflower isn't exactly everyone's favorite vegetable. You might be sitting in the audience thinking, yeah, no, I don't like cauliflower. I don't really care if you throw it all away. But this is just one hidden part of the system, one example of how we're not utilizing our resources and our materials in their entirety. This is a wasted opportunity. And that's because we are failing to see and to use the full potentials in those exact things that we are wasting. So, what Anthony Bourdain did was he took that waste and he turned it into delicious meals that he could sell at his restaurant. He transformed that waste into a resource, into ingredients. He saw the opportunity to be innovative and to create something that had never been done before. He could have just made new recipes out of the actual cauliflower, like we would expect, but he didn't. He looked at that 60%. he capitalized on the opportunity to do more with that waste, to cook it, to sell it, make money off of it. Hey, we're business students, we get that. This is the way that we need to be thinking in order to optimize our resources and therefore reduce our waste. I know we're not all farmers or celebrity chefs. We're not going to leave here today and go save the other 60% of that plant, especially those of you that don't even like cauliflower. But there are things that you do use and that you do like potentially in your everyday life that go underutilized. The need for innovation doesn't only apply to food. It applies to all those categories of waste, whether it's paper, whether it's your clothing. I don't know exactly what makes up your waste. Therefore, I don't have the exact solution for how you can prevent that waste. But you do, if you look for the opportunity. We need to be seeing the opportunities in acting sustainably the way that Anthony Bourdain did. How can we use our materials without wasting them? And if we do waste them, can that waste become something else? Could everything we use be reusable? Could we redesign our processes and systems so that they ultimately don't lead to waste? These are the kinds of questions I want you to be thinking about. Certain businesses embrace sustainable practices because it literally is good for their business. It forces them to save money, use their materials more efficiently, and then ultimately, they look good in the eye of the consumer because they're potentially doing something that their competition is not. What if we had to be less wasteful in order to achieve our goals, our everyday lives, operate our businesses? NASA, for example, they had a recycling system designed that turned astronauts' urine into drinking water. If you ask me, that's the ultimate recycling system. Maintains self-sufficiency. And they did this for two reasons. One, they physically did not have the capacity to send gallons and gallons of water into space. And two, the more stuff you send up there, the more it costs. So for them, recycling their waste, figuring out how to turn it into something productive, that benefited them. When the business reasons make sense, rather, the opportunity makes sense, people start innovating and people start adopting these sustainable practices that are better for them, the environment, and their community. With society growing more and more concerned with the environment and acting sustainably, being able to see the opportunity in our problems, seeing the opportunity in our waste, is crucial for us to actually make progress towards living in a less wasteful world. We all have things we are passionate about. Whether they're related to the environment or not, there will be a form of waste. Think about how you can use that waste and turn it into something productive, something that could benefit you or benefit someone else. Your t-shirts, those could be turned into a blanket. You could freeze your food before it spoils so that it doesn't go into the garbage. Your yard clippings could turn into compost. It could be as simple as just making sure you know how to properly recycle the right items. These small changes, these actions, that will change the world. I hope today that I have convinced you to start looking at your waste differently. Apply your creativity. Find ways that you can innovate. Find the ways that you can make your waste not waste. Pursuing the opportunity will be the key to solving our waste problem. Those opportunities, they could be limitless if we don't waste them. Thank you.